Happy DocMas residents, and welcome to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is producer Richard, and next to me is the doctor himself. Now, what was the thing you were doing?
Just give me a second.
Okay. It's like a spooky, but it's winter.
I want to slay your bells.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So that was that.
Sure.
It sounds like it's the food making me do this. I just want people to know it's my brain.
Yeah, I'm bad.
Yeah, I'm bad.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. Don't put it on the food.
Don't you dare blame the food for this.
Yeah, no, I'm the one who's wrong.
It's me. Hi.
I'm the problem.
It's
I'm
me.
Reed.
Oh. I mean, yeah, pretty much.
This is the 8th episode of 12.
That's right.
DocMas VII.
DocMas VII. Dairy DocMas.
Moo
Dairy Moo Problems.
Yeah.
You still never nailed that. We had some breakfast things, some snacky things, some lunchtime things. Now we're getting into a more substantial part of the journey.
Stop saying that.
It's so substantial. I would say this is probably the hardest part that we're in right now.
It's the firmest part.
It's definitely, yeah, it's not hard yet. It's firm.
Remember
yeah. Yeah, pitching that if something is just medium difficulty, we should call it firm.
Your dick's, it's not hard.
Yeah, it's just hard on the outside.
Yeah.
It seems to have some sort of soft center. It's firm. It's firm like a grape.
Yeah. Feels like it might pop if I bite into it.
I mean,
hey.
Anyway,
I mean, don't bite into it. But.
For that, for the 8th episode,
yeah,
we're doing a frozen cheesy frittata.
Yeah,
I mean,
I hope it's not frozen anymore.
I mean, I just mean a freezer aisle thing that we have now.
Sure,
baked in the oven. It was baking all through last episode.
Yeah, the 8th movement of
dairy, the dairy tonic scale.
Just don't want you to forget the system.
Yeah. And how could I forget?
It's just
such a great and relevant fucking metaphor.
Well, you started the music thing with the moo problems or whatever.
Oh yeah, and when I think of rap music, then the next thing I think is like
classical
terms you use about like symphony orchestras. So at any rate, this is a cheesy frittata. It's obviously got egg. It's got 3 different types of cheeses in it. It's got some pepper, some onion, or just chives possibly. Yeah, let's go for it.
That sure is frittata.
Listen, for a previously frozen egg, I've had worse. This is not bad, I think, on the scale of like frozen meal kind of thing. This would be all right if you were like bachelor living and you put this in and this was like a special breakfast kind of thing or something. I actually think this would be that's not bad.
Yeah, for what it is, it's all right.
So I want you to know that I took it easy on you. We each only have like a 1/6 of this,
which for you is like a bite.
I mean, it was 1 pan, so I'm not sure why that's not 1 serving, but
yeah, but it's not even 1 pan to you. It's 1 box counts as 1 serving.
Easy, but yes, I like this. Give me your thoughts. Do you like frittatas? Do you like egg dishes? Do you like omelets and quiches and shit like that? Like, is that a thing you enjoy or not really?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think that like it's never like my go-to, but also if I'm like needing a change or I'm trying to impress a woman, I'll make an omelet.
Right.
Not the only eggs that are about to get scrambled.
Jesus Christ. Good Lord. You know what I think of? I think of that meme with the sunny side up eggs that look like boobs. How do you like your eggs? Big naturals.
Yeah. So I'll make it. Like I rarely frittata for me is just a bad omelet, but
Is it weird that I like this better than an omelet? I think because there's like the little bit of like the breading thing. It's like
no.
It's basically just flat quiche essentially.
Yeah, it's either a poorly made quiche or a poorly made omelet, but somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. Sorry, frittatas, but you're the worst of two worlds.
From two different egg dishes, you're the mid.
I like quiche though. I like that kind of stuff, so I'm into this. This is nice. I was going to make mini quiches and then I got lazy.
I know. I was surprised that you did that.
But
yeah, no, these are
And then I was going to just buy frozen mini quiches, and then that was the thing I couldn't find.
That was the one thing I did find. Yeah,
really. And then I went to
independent.
I went to 2 stores and they didn't have that.
It was the independent.
And then I went, but I got the frittata instead.
Mm-hmm.
But I got this from M&M's actually.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Did you pick that up with the Oriental package?
No. It's called the Asian Party Pack now.
Since when?
Like last year.
Yeah.
It was a pretty
way too late.
It was a late adoption.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, why don't we get into today's questions?
All right. I'm ready.
Coming to us from Twitter. Every fucking time. Every fucking time. I know. It's like there's no way he's gonna do it again. And then I was like, maybe he's doing it as a joke. And then I realized you definitely weren't.
No, I absolutely was not.
Stop picking up food.
Oh, sorry. touch Twitter.
You're like, yeah, I'm so sorry. As you're picking up another piece of food.
I just wanted a piece of melon.
First question.
This does feel a little bit like falling off the wagon.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to work real hard this week to get back on my my regimen.
Mm-hmm. From Jamie Edmund, who asks, "What's your opinion on John Ostrander's work and his contributions to the DC universe? I started with his Suicide Squad, then moved on to Spectre and Martian Manhunter. It seems like his work has been underrated due to never being on a major character." No. Come on, you prepared now. I finished the question.
And I finished my watermelon.
Yeah.
I really like Ostrander's work. I agree that I do feel like maybe outside of the people that know, he's maybe a bit underrated. Mm-hmm. But like each of those runs that are mentioned in there are pretty seminal. Like Ostrander is the one that like really defined the modern version of the Suicide Squad, because before Ostrander, the Suicide Squad was like a war comic. It was like just a military detachment.
Oh, that's
it wasn't
right,
like
yeah.
the super criminals like press ganged into working for the government thing. Ostrander defined that. And his run is great and has all this kind of psychological stuff and like, you know, Count Vertigo like asking Deadshot to kill him and stuff, and Deadshot being like, if you ask me, I'm not going to do it this time, but if you ask me one more time, I will do it. So don't pity party yourself. If you want it, I'm doing it. Like, it had all these kind of like, oh my God, like the way that the villains would talk to each other was also such a different dynamic from how heroes talk to each other. And it explored all this kind of new territory and stuff like that. And that's, and I think you can't give enough credit to Ostrander for something like that. His Martian Manhunter run is really solid, really good. I do think that one finds a good balance between some of the more kind of like alien aspects and the detective-y stuff. Like I'm pretty sure like the organization Vulture is in that one, which is relatively big now, I would say. Martian Manhunter adversary. But that's all pretty good. What was the third run that was listed in there?
Spectre?
Oh, the Spectre. Is Ostrander's run on the Spectre is Hal, isn't it? That's the Hal Spectre run. I might have that slightly wrong, but I mean the Spectre is such a dope comic in general. Yeah, I mean I agree that Ostrander's stuff is maybe slightly underrated.
Do you think it's due to it not being attached to larger characters?
I mean, it could be. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. It was nice in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad seeing. I mean, he put Ostrander in the movie. Ostrander has a line in the movie. He's the guy that injects the bomb into Idris Elba's neck.
Oh.
And if it's anything like, is it Jim Starlin or someone is in Endgame? Like, you know, when Cap's doing the grief circle thing at the beginning of Endgame? Yeah. One of the guys that co-created Thanos or whatever is in that group, and he has a line. And I think if I might be misattributing this, but it was him or someone like him that said, like, I made more money having that line in a movie that big than I did from them using my ideas to make the movie.
Holy shit.
And so, like, it's nice to see James Gunn do the same thing to Ostrander, like, give him a line in this movie so he gets paid and like whatever kind of thing. Like, that's all fun and good, and that's great. But I do think, like, it's, you know, that movie is clearly more inspired by Ostrander than anything else. And I still don't feel like you get that sense of, like, oh my God, those are the big creators. But in a weird way too, like, I feel like if you're not implicated in comics, you also will lose track of someone like Siegel and Schuster as the creators of Superman. But what you tend to pick up more are, like, tonally, like, who contribute, like, what is this movie more based on? You know, maybe you'd hear more about John Byrne, or you'd hear more about, you know, Jeff Johns, or you'd hear more about, like, other people that contribute to Superman later than you would about the creators. Ostrander didn't create necessarily the characters, but created that idea of the Suicide Squad, and maybe part of that is gets lost in there, because then when you go individually, you go, well, Captain Boomerang, that's a Flash villain. Deadshot's a Batman. Like,
sure,
you're always thinking of the other thing and not thinking of that unit.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing, but yeah, I agree that he's underrated.
Totally.
But I also, I'm just going to throw this out there, and I'm not trying to, like, it's not trying to be a hot take or anything. Ostrander is good. I love these Ostrander runs of things. But is Ostrander, like, the superstar tier creator? I might say no.
Yeah.
You know? And that's not 100% fair, but also, like, this really awesome thing came out of it, and the runs are good, and they're worth reading. They're so solid. But, like, you know, then you hold that up to, like, we don't think of it the way we think of Alan Moore on Swamp Thing. We don't think of it the way we think of,
sure,
you know, insert thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't think of it the way we think of, like, Danny O'Neill and Neil Adams on Batman, or something like that. So Mike Grell on Green Arrow, like, as creators. So I don't know how fair that is, but I think that's maybe a slight part of it too, is that he's a very good craftsman, but not necessarily
this, like,
at that kind of, like,
superstar
phenom sort of level, which, yeah.
That's fair. All right, moving from Twitter over to Threads.
Threads.
First question comes from the real Josh Gill, who asks,
sexy Gill.
How would Hal and Alan handle swapping dance partners? Hal up against someone like Sky Pirate, and Alan up against someone like Major Force.
I think in almost every case, Hal would body Alan's bad guys.
Yeah, eh?
Like, just because, but the part of that's just the nature of Golden Age comics.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, Solomon Grundy's probably the most formidable of Alan Scott's rogues.
Yeah.
But Hal would just demolish almost all of them. But again, that's the Golden Age thing, because when you think of how these characters have progressed through time, we've also beefed up Alan's power as the years have gone on.
Yeah.
He's not just a guy that can, like, do something. Like, Alan Scott is, like, exceedingly powerful. So we've kind of, like, retconned him up to always be sort of comparable, or a big gun, a heavy hitter.
Yeah.
To the point where now you put, like, Hal's bad guys up against Alan, someone like Hector Hammond, someone like Dr. Polaris, these other ones that we were talking about, even like Sinestro or something. And it's like, Sinestro is formidable, but like Alan Scott's not to be messed with.
So it's almost like,
and his power's a little bit different. There's a little bit of magic in his power. Like we've almost compensated for the golden age of it all over time. So now I think if you swap dance partners, it's really crazily weighted because like Alan would like handle Hal's fine.
If anything,
but Hal would still body Alan's.
But if anything, Alan's are underperforming for Alan. Like,
yes,
Alan's are too weak.
Well, yeah, but what I mean is you don't totally flip it. It's not like Hal bodies Alan's bad guys and Alan goes, I can't stop any of your bad guys.
Yeah.
It's like it's
just that Alan's original ones were terrible.
Yeah, like what's Rosenthorn like, or like the Harlequin or whatever. Like
sure.
what are some of these gonna do against Hal Jordan? Now, that said, it's comics. We do this kind of stuff all the time. That's like saying, how could Harley Quinn take on Batman? It's like, because it's a comic, and Harley Quinn took down Batman because that's what happened.
Yeah.
Like you would do that in these. They'd always have some like, Alan would come in later and go like, I always underestimated them too. Or like, it's comics. We'd always find a way to even the tables to make it interesting enough. But like, really, let's be honest. Like, they don't stand a chance against Hal.
Totally.
Yeah.
All right, let's leave Threads and head over to the Docscord. Docscord.
Easy. I've got this.
Christmas.
I've got this.
Let him cook.
Hang on.
DocScore.
Nice.
Fuck yeah. First question from the Docscore comes from Cosmic DM Classic, who asks, if the Canadian government ever actually listens to the podcast and decides to exile you from Canada, or as what this says is Canada,
which I think was on purpose. That's why I left it in.
What's your backup plan country? Well, if you just listen to our double, you would know that we already have an answer to this.
Well, except that I even said it on the double. I don't think I could live in Japan.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about number 2.
Oh, Zealand.
Yes.
Yeah, baby.
New.
Well, yeah. No, New Zealand. Yeah, New Zealand is probably
it's the closest to Canada.
Number one backup to live country.
1,000%.
The question is, if Canada's kicking us out, why would New Zealand let us in?
Sure, America.
Like, New Zealand's better than we are.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, no, I mean, I'd say it's low probability that our citizenship is revoked because of the podcast. Not impossible.
That's why next year.
And as far as I know, the Canadian government hasn't listened to us, but the territorial government definitely has.
But that's why we just to be safe, we're voting Pierre Poilievre.
Oh no!
Make sure that if they hear it, we're still okay.
Oh no! Oh no!
It's the only way we're safe.
No, do you know what? I'm gonna burn it all down.
Stop trying to burn things down. Much like your work has to keep telling you, no, we don't need you to burn everything down.
Fine. No one's any fun anymore.
Nobody lets me burn anymore.
Yeah.
All right.
Burn the house down. Burn them all. You know what to do, laddie.
The moral compass of the Docscord asks,
okay,
who in your past would you apologize to and for what reason? I'm thinking something more innocuous that has since not aged well with challenging societal norms, i.e. calling someone or thing gay in the 90s in the early 2000s.
Right.
Yep, guilty.
Yeah, guilty.
Being resolutely pro-US in the 2003 Iraq invasion, etc.
Pretty sure that's targeted.
Yeah.
I've said that was me. But yes, I would absolutely apologize for that.
Yep.
I'll throw one out there. It's not a specific person to apologize to, but I do remember, when you're young and you think you're smart or you think you've got all the angles covered, having a real beef with the word feminism and be like, shouldn't you want equalism?
Oh,
like
sure.
that kind of stupid bullshit, which is obviously, you know, like I don't need anyone to explain to me why I was right.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah.
But like I definitely pulled that kind of stuff. Be like, the problem is they want to take over. Like I remember
Yeah.
saying stuff like that. It's like almost to the point where I look back and it's like that, the Iraq War thing.
Like who was I?
Like, how did I not end up in the... And maybe it's theater. Maybe theater saved me. And that's why I'm not in the alt-right pipeline.
Well, and I think your parents.
My parents were always good, but you just go like, logic.
Sure.
If you say feminism, you're excluding men. Logic.
Yeah,
you're being like just that stupid cold computer logic thing that doesn't work in real life.
Oh,
that was the... But I had a bunch of like stupid opinions like that. I would apologize for those. I mean, I do apologize for those because they're dumb and kids are dumb. And your turn now.
No, I'm good.
No,
I've never done anything wrong.
Yeah, that's the clarion call of completely innocent individuals.
Yeah, don't look too closely at it, but I've never done anything wrong.
Yeah, I mean, far be it from me to know everything, but I'm perfect.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, yeah, the 90s were definitely brutal for a lot of that stuff, like calling things gay and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's really bad.
The R word was thrown around pretty easily.
I won't say I never said it, but I don't remember it being like a big thing. Like I think I always felt weird about it a little bit. I definitely did it anyway with some friends, but not as much. Like calling stuff gay was like like prevalent. That was like the plague. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the R word was tough because it's a thing that like it's probably of those things it's the one that's actually like it's not around anymore, but I have heard it in the last like even 5 years, and it's like the coldest bath you ever feel. Like
I was watching a Tom Segura special.
Yeah.
I really like Tom Segura.
Yeah.
And I've heard enough of him that I go like, this guy knows the right side of history.
Yeah.
And I was like 6 minutes into his special and he dropped it and I was like, I think I'm done here.
Yeah.
It was like truly that cold bath feeling that you're talking about. I was like, nope.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I'm done here.
It's kind of crazy. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, but it definitely was guilty of all of that stuff in the 90s. Kids were terrible.
Yeah.
I think that of the like things that I actually did that was bad, I mean, I wasn't like great to like my controlling issues can make me slightly challenging at times.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
I can't think of a specific instance, but I'm sure it was there.
I mean, I actually can't either, but I'm sure it's
yeah. Otherwise, like, yeah, nothing specific.
No, but you know, like in that vein, like name those innocuous things. We probably did them.
Yeah,
because we were also kids and dumb, and I think we would renounce.
Well, just like
pretty much all of them.
Joking or dumb things like throwing up like Heil Hitler things like that.
Oh my God. So I've got one for that.
Okay, yeah.
So in high school, I took German for 3 years, and one of my good friends also took German for 3 years, and for 2 years, or at least one, I would walk into German class every day, throw up the fake mustache and the thing, and goose step into the room.
Oof.
And the teacher never saw it, and this friend, like
teacher never saw it.
Teacher never saw it.
Oh, okay.
Friend would laugh, and so that's why I kept doing it. It must have been at least for a year, because then the second year we went on a field trip to, because where I grew up is a huge Oktoberfest.
Sure.
Big German population in Kitchener.
Yeah.
And we went to the Schwaben Club for Oktoberfest. And we walk into the huge hall with all these Germans and all these other high schools.
I'm starting to, my hands are sweating.
And she, the friend,
oh no,
the mustache, the salute, and the goose step. And our teacher clocks it and just whips her out and goes, Lindsay, what the hell are you doing? She's like, what? It's the German thing. And she was like, no, it's not. And Lindsay looked at me. I shouldn't be saying her name, but she looked at me and I was like, it's Hitler. And I was like, but I took for granted that we all knew that.
Yeah, like that.
So for like a year. She was like, it's the German walk.
Oh my
like,
God.
Oh no.
How do you learn that much German and not know that?
Well, it wasn't a German history class. It was German language. We were just like learning how to say like,
But how
das
do you,
ist mein Hut.
how do you want to learn that and not know that?
I mean, well, again, I knew it because I watched a lot of Monty Python. And But like, not everyone. People have different pop cultural references and different things. Like,
oh my God.
I shouldn't have taken it for granted, but I used to do that. And then she did, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, no, not here. She was like, what? It's the German thing. I felt so bad.
That's
like,
so funny.
I wouldn't have done it if I thought you didn't know it was.
Yeah.
Like,
Jesus.
it was crazy.
That's so fucking funny. Early 2000s, especially late 90s, were like the edgelordiest time, like of all.
Yes.
Like all the comedy, everything, like it was all like trying to like.
I think I would probably renounce at least some of the ska music that I listened to.
Sure.
Like I like the instrumental like virtuosity of some ska bands, like Streetlight Manifesto or something. But like I've tried to go back and listen to Real Big Fish, and like that's like incel music.
Really?
Oh yeah. This one's for all the suckers who still believe in love, and it's all because like this girl didn't look at me.
I mean, that was emo music back then too.
I know, but like I think the ska thing, because it has the added layer of like the sardonic, make a joke. Like,
yeah.
You like emo music's like sad about it, and ska music is like I deserve better. Like I went back and listened to Real Big Fish, and I was like, nope.
Because I think the big thing is like a lot
really
of those like emo poppy, like pop punky bands. Like a lot of them ended up being like abusers and stuff, and like
yeah. I guess that doesn't surprise.
Yeah. Because it's like you just very young women who are like oh, but he's sensitive, and like all their lyrics are like, I hope she fucking dies and stuff, and so
or like if you don't love me, I'll walk into the sea.
Yeah. Rough. So that's
I'd pretty much renounce almost anything from my youth.
Yeah, basically me prior to 2022 don't listen to anything I said.
God, that's during the podcast.
Yeah, it's last year.
Oh.
Did you not know what year it was? It's not 2024 yet.
Briefly. It's like 2022, that's only a couple of years ago. Like truly in my head, that's what I was doing.
Literally last year.
Gulp.
And honestly, some of 2023.
Definitely don't go back to 2017 when the podcast started.
Bully.
Definitely don't go to episode 2.
All right. Put it behind the vault. Probably by, I'd say, April this year, we'll probably have to put it in the vault.
Yeah. Probably smart.
Yeah, right around then.
Probably smart.
Anyways, that's it for today's episode. If we have one more question.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm going to hand you the coin.
Okay.
And
let's see if I can do this laying
so
down.
This is the Can We Bear It? This is a question from Bear.
Yeah, bear down and grin.
Bear down for midterms.
Yeah, okay.
And we're gonna see if we're actually gonna answer it. So the question is, can you go into the TMNT Batman crossover? Yeah, I suck at flipping the coin. Right, you like didn't even flip it, just tossed it up.
Because I'm laying down.
Is it heads?
It's heads.
I'm going to play a little loophole here and I go, no, I can't go into the crossover. I'm in the real world.
What a dick.
End of question.
Wow. That's truly like a Two-Face question.
Well, do you know what? I mean, that is kind of how Two-Face would do it, too. It'd be like, the coin didn't do what I wanted, so I'm going to... I mean, if anything, you would appreciate that because you have a whole system to like...
No, all right, shut up. That's not
decide on travel, and then you go, but I don't like that, so I should add a category whereby I could just override.
It doesn't override; it just gooses it slightly.
Yeah, override.
It's not overriding.
You even conceded to calling it a goosing, so I think we all know what a sham
it boosts it a little bit. It doesn't override it.
Yeah, all I did was give it 50 out of 10.
No, that's not what it is.
Yeah, no, I would love to go into a crossover, but alas, I'm stuck in this physical plane.
But watch the movie because it's fun.
Definitely read them though and watch the movie.
It's fun.
They're great.
Yeah. That's kind of all I have to say about that.
That's definitely all I have to say about it.
All right.
Because this coin is rigged.
I mean, even if I can't flip
collusion.
Lock it up.
Yeah, lock the coin.
Oh, I have an interesting story to tell you about a collusion.
The coin's wife is a dog.
I have an interesting story we should talk about.
Oh my god.
I work for the news now, baby.
So you're just making it up?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
I don't like this person. No. So that is it for this week. If you want to send in questions for episodes coming in the new year, make sure you reach out to us on all the various social media platforms.
Dr. DC Podcast, pretty much everywhere.
If you want extra content and have a few extra bucks to throw around, for $1, $5, or $7 level, you get access to the Discord, our online fan community, as well as tons of extra audio content.
That's right. Patreon.com/Dr. DC, baby.
And Ghostfacers, a supernatural rewatch where we go through every single episode of the CW's Supernatural. 8 seasons in now out of 15. So subscribe to that podcast today.
Yeah.
That is it for today. We'll see you tomorrow.
Adios.
Heroes, they always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure, they are men of might.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.